on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo come back at you with another video. So today I'm gonna talk about Desmond Ridder being our future franchise quarterback and how his trajectory could be just like three other quarterbacks. You know, some of the same circumstances with different teams. Um, and I hope you guys just give me input what you guys think about my take on it. Also, I'm gonna talk about the cap space. The Atlanta Falcons finally got out their contracts of their signing for the free agency period so far, updated and over the cap shows where the Atlanta Falcons stand and potentially some more moves they could make. Also, talk about bringing back cornerback Cornell Armstrong, adding to that cornerback depth room. So, guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like to hear what I talk about. And please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear we talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, like I said, we're going to talk about the cap space first. Atlanta Falcons finally got all their financials in order. Everybody's signing from this first part of the free agency period. And it shows on over the cap. The Atlanta Falcons have $26 million to play with still. Probably going to take about $5 million, $6 million if you do the top 51 for the Atlanta Falcons to sign that draft class. So they put us about $21 million. Of course, they're going to have money to go into the start of the season as well. So you probably figure in about $15 million to still play with to actually go out and actually sign more guys within free agency. We know they're going to be smart about this because if you go just look at the cap numbers and how they did the signings this year, it was well thought out and it seemed like their plan is working just like they want. They signed a lot of guys and still to have this much cap space left, it's really, really good. They already knocked it out the box so far. Just like my last video, I thought it was incomplete, but so I'm still thinking they're going to go out and sign some more guys. Don't know where. Could be pass rush. Could be in the secondary again, bringing another cornerback. Could be more on the defensive line. Could be that number 2 receiver that we all been waiting for them to go. These guys to go sign. So, but we know that I don't think they're done. But it is draft season, guys. So these guys really got to start, honing in on these draft prospects as well. Because at the end of the day, you do want to build your team through the draft. And the first 2 years, the Atlanta Falcons did a great job doing the draft, picking guys, bringing them in, helping this franchise get better. Also, on another note, the Atlanta Falcons brought back cornerback Cornell Armstrong on a 1-year deal. If you guys remember last year, in particular, I remember in the Cincinnati game when both of our cornerbacks was out. Cornell Armstrong came in, actually started 4 games for us. Casey Hayward went down for the rest of the season. AJ Terrell was out 4 games, and Cornell Armstrong started 4 games for us. Just like a backup, he played well in some spots, and then some spots it was not desired. He actually didn't perform as well as you wanted him to. But I think his potential that he showed, bringing him in, being a spot starter, coming in, helping out, adding to that depth in the cornerback room is what's needed. Of course, I think the secondary has got better just with the addition of Jesse Bates, the potential of Richard Grant getting better. Of course, AJ Terrell there, Casey Hayward coming back, but you don't want to be in a position like you was last year, where you actually lost both of your starters and you didn't have depth in that spot. Also, of course, we lost Isaiah Oliver, so that nickel spot is open. So we're gonna see who's gonna be compete for that. Of course, you still got Darren Hall here. D. Alford is a guy that came on the scene last year that actually had some good plays during the season as well. So right now it's reported that Atlanta Falcons have about 10 cornerbacks on the roster. I don't think they're done. I think they're going to add maybe potentially in the draft for number 8. So we'll just have to see what they decide to do. But bringing back Cornell Armstrong is a good because he understands the regime. Of course, the defensive side is going to change. Maybe he actually get a little better with a guy like Jerry Gray, who's has been a defensive back coach, knows a lot about defense, and we know that 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 confidence is just going to grow for Cornell Armstrong being in the league so long. So guys, that's where we're at. So let's get into it. Today I'm talking about, like I said, this is going to be my last time talking about Desmond Ridder. I think the Falcons have made their decision. They're going to roll with Dez, and I think that he's really going to be good for us this season. But it's all up to him, of course. But what I want to do today, I want to talk about three quarterbacks that's Desmond Ridder could definitely have similar, paths into being that franchise quarterback for his organization. And the first guy I'm gonna talk about, guy that's been in the league a long time, that just bust on the scenes and actually went to 2 Super Bowls, and that guy is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was picked in the third round. That's my bad. Third round. Came in. You remember the Seattle Seahawks actually signed their quarterback, and Matt Flynn, that he was going to be the starter. I think they gave him $10 million a year to be the starter. However, Russell Wilson beat him out in camp, if you guys remember, and actually hit the ground running. The Seattle Seahawks built their team around a young quarterback that had not got paid yet, and the rest is history, right? Legion of Boom established. They went to 2 Super Bowls. Probably should have won both Super Bowls. We know what happened. Instead of running Marshawn Lynch, they decided to throw the ball in the red zone, and Tom Brady got another Super Bowl ring, right? So, but we know that's definitely a formula that the Seattle Seahawks used. The Legion of Boom was one of the most prolific defenses, in NFL history. If you go back and look at the numbers that they put up and things they was allowed to do, it was so good that Dan Quinn even got a job with the Atlanta Falcons because that defense was so good. Of course, they tried to duplicate some of the things that he did with Seattle, but we know how that turned out. He was not able to do that. But at the end of the day, Russell Wilson was not really a game manager. He had some things. He was really, really good. He was one of the most accurate quarterbacks to actually come out of college. Coming in third round, had a great college career, showed the leadership that teams wanted to see, and that's why he was picked by the Seattle Seahawks. And then the rest was up to him. He actually came in, like I said, he beat out the actual starter that was there, and we know the career that Russell Wilson has had. Probably going to be in the Pro Bowl. In the Hall of Fame because of his career. Hopefully he can get it turned around in Denver, because last year was not really good for him. But that build, the way they built the Seattle Seahawks up on a young quarterback that was drafted late in the like I said, in the third round, similar to a guy like Desmond Ridder, and saw the things that he was able to do. That's a model that the Atlanta Falcons could use. That's the model that Desmond Ridder could look at and see that he can actually be one of those guys. Guy that was in college, that won a lot of games, took his teams to heights that they had never seen before, and that showed up in today's game in the NFL. That's what you want to see from a guy like Desmond Ridder. Another guy, Dak Prescott, right? Dak Prescott was picked in the 4th round. The scouting profile on Dak Prescott in 2016 was an average backup or a special teamer. That's what some of the talking heads were saying about Dak Prescott coming out. And we know his story, right? He came out, he was backing up Tony Romo. Tony Romo got his collarbone broke. Dak Prescott first season took the team to the divisional round playoffs. He has been in the playoffs about three or 4 years in his career. So we know the potential about Dak Prescott. However, every time you think about the Dallas Cowboys, the word is that they have one of the most best rosters in the league every year. So what the Dallas Cowboys was able to do, put a lot of good players around Dak Prescott and build a team around him. Once again, another guy that played on a cheap contract, and they was able to go out and pay all the other guys around him. Now has flipped. Dak Prescott finally have his money, so Cowboys trying to find another way to build around the franchise quarterback that they got. But that's one of the most talented teams in the NFL, and because they was able to do that, because they was able to get a quarterback in the fourth round and build up the team the way they was able to do. Dak still has a lot of potential in this league. Of course, he need to fix up some things. Maybe if they hone him in just a little bit, stop trying to make him be the hero, and utilize the run game more, lean on that defense that's anchored by Dan Quinn, and maybe the Cowboys can do something here in the near future. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl, but because that's what their fans for every year that the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl. But anyway, Dak Prescott is another guy that the Atlanta Falcons can definitely look at. A guy like Desmond Ridder can definitely look at and see how he can actually see how this thing is going to work out for him. You have to build your team around a young quarterback, and that's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys was able to do. And Atlanta Falcons can see that blueprint, right? The last guy we're going to talk about is a guy who's just in the Super Bowl this last season, and that's me. Yes, I'm talking about Jalen Hurts. This is probably one of the guys that I look at even more to a guy like Desmond Ridder, because of his athletic ability. One of the things that the talking head said about Jalen Hurts coming out, that he'd be a good backup, could be a potential starter, right? That's one of the things that they were saying about Jalen Hurts coming out. We remember his first season. He really did not have, where the Philadelphia Eagles like, yes, this is our guy. He did not hit the ground running per se. So, but they stuck with him. And one thing that a lot of scouts were saying about Jalen Hurts is the fit, right? They would have to find a team that was going to make it fit his skill set. And really, at the end of the day, that's really the key for any player, not just quarterback, but any player that's coming in from college. They got to be able to fit with their franchise, because if they don't fit with the franchise, it's really going to hurt them in the long run. So this right here, Jalen Hurts, like I said, if you look at it, his athletic score was 90, right? He ran a 4.5 and a 40, and people forget he was the 5th quarterback taken in that draft. Yes, Joe Burrow, Tua, the kid from Justin Herbert, and then Jordan Love was all taken before Jalen Hurts. And only Joe Burrow had made it to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts right there. So you have to get in the right situation. And hopefully that's what we're trying to do for a guy like Desmond Ridder, put him in the right situation. We have to understand how athletic Desmond Ridder was. Desmond Ridder ran a 4.49 in the 40 at the combine, right? His athletic score was 82. Only issues most people had with Desmond Ridder was his accuracy, right? So to talk about accuracy, you can see improvement on that. I think he actually improved every game, these 4 games that he had, being able to improve his completion percentage. That's what I like about Desmond Ridder. Going to be one of the guys that's really going to work hard, come in every day, that's going to be able to improve. The last tidbit on all 4 of these guys, a Desmond Ridder, a Dak Prescott, a Russell Wilson, and a Jalen Hurts, is the fact that their leadership was really talked about when they was coming out of college, right? They was really leaders of their teams, right? They galvanized their teams to get their teams to the heights that they did when they was in college. That's so, especially a guy like Jalen Hurts. Go listen to his interviews. You go listen to how he's really mature, i.e. Desmond Ridder, a guy who's lead the team, going to work hard, trying to get better, and have all the confidence in the world. That's what you want in your franchise quarterback. So with that being said, I feel like the Atlanta Falcons might have found their guy, but at the end of the day, just like Russell Wilson had to do, go in and prove himself, just like Dak Prescott had for 4 years before they paid him, go ahead and prove himself, right? Just like Jalen Hurts. First year was rocky, came back the next season and was able to get better. And look at this season, he was actually in the Super Bowl. So these are the things that you definitely got to look at and look at the trajectory of these guys. And I feel like Desmond Ridder could definitely have the same kind of path for his success and be the Atlanta Falcon franchise quarterback. At the end of the day, it's going to be up to Desmond Ridder. I feel that he's going to be put in the right situation. He's going to get, hopefully we can build that defense up. Not like the Legion of Boom, but if we can get in the top 10, that would be awesome, because that would definitely help out our young quarterback. We can put the talent around him like the Dallas Cowboys did with Dak Prescott. That's going to be huge for us and for Desmond Ridder. And then last but not least, if we can put more weapons around him like the Philadelphia Eagles did, going out and getting Brown for Hurts, going out and get the young receiver from Alabama, putting the weapons around him, creating that run game, and we talked about the defense already. That's just a formula for the Atlanta Falcons to definitely be successful. And that's my last take on Desmond Ridder. Before we get into the offseason, I think I put my stamp on it. I'm 100% behind Atlanta Falcons, making him the starter. We can talk about the way they did it. They decided they had a plan with Desmond Ridder. Maybe he could have beat out Marcus Mariota last year, but I think the plan was for this regime was, as long as we was in the playoff hunt, they was going to let Marcus Mariota remain starter. Even though Desmond Ridder took over, we were still in the playoff hunt. I think they had seen enough of Marcus Mariota, and they wanted to see what they had in Desmond Ridder. Maybe they could have did it a little bit earlier. In my opinion, it probably should have been after that Carolina game on Thursday night. We had a little bit more time, and we don't know how it would have turned out for us. But at the end of the day, that's the plan they utilized. That's what they stuck with. And here we are right now. Desmond Ridder coming in, have a full offseason, full training camp, and hopefully a full regular season to prove that he can actually be the franchise quarterback for these Atlanta Falcons. And guys, we have to get behind that. Right here, you see on my shirt, it says Real Falcon Fan. If you're a real Falcon fan, let's get behind young Desmond Ridder and see what he's actually can do for our franchise. They're going to put the pieces around him. Now, it's just going to be up to him. And guys, that's all I have. Let me know what you think about our still good amount of cap space that we got, the signing of Cornell Armstrong, and do you think that Desmond Ridder can have the same trajectory as those three quarterbacks I just mentioned? And this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.